Hello, hello, hello. It is so incredibly foggy and dark outside, and it's raining very hard. But earlier it was not raining, and I went out there with my shower chair, which works really well for grounding. And I sat in the garden between those amazing Douglas fir, the young Douglas fir trees, and deer came up, and it was wonderful. And then Paul came out and he said, "Don't sit here, you get a bladder infection. Come back in the house." I said, "No, I need to get grounded." I had my bare feet on the grass. And the deer came up to him and to us talking there, and they were not afraid, and they know that we have apples sometimes. So I said, "Go get an apple and roll one over." And that's what he did. And then the deer mama came and ate that apple, and looks so cute the way she eats that apple. I absolutely love it. And so those are, the precious moments in life that I value so infinitely much. There's so much heartbreak and hardships and so much suffering in my brain going on and in the world in general. And my brain is just a reflection of what's happening in the world out there. People who are rejecting other people in an emotional way like that, they reject themselves, They don't have to, when someone says, "Can I give you a cyber hug?" They don't have to say no to that. There's no contamination happening with the cyber hug. And they don't have to be grossed out by some trailer lady saying, "Can I give you a cyber hug?" Okay, there's no, this all falls away, right? The grossed out. I'm not even, I would never be grossed out if, no matter how bad someone looks and says to me in person, "Can I give you a hug?" Of course I give them a hug. I may not be falling in love with them, but I can at least give them a hug. But on the internet, there's like really no risk involved, right? There's no risk involved to say, "Yeah, go ahead, give me a cyber hug and a kiss on my cheek in imagination." It's not in person. There's no virus involved, and there's no grandmother grossness or whatever, whatever they're thinking. There's none of that involved, okay? But they still say no. So why would someone do that? Unless they want to either have power over someone else, by rejecting that other person, they can have power over that other person. Or there's just no need for it. Even if that person is not in the slightest bit interested in that other person, if the person says, "Can I give you a hug?" they can still say yes, just to be fun and friendly, right? That's the least one can do. So it's very difficult for me to follow how people behave. It's very, very difficult for me to wrap my head around that. Very, very difficult. I don't understand. I'm getting through this, I cry my way through this. I really, really do, So it feels really, really bad sometimes. It feels suicidal. It feels like, okay, this is the end now. I can pack up. then I feel really insecure about how I look. I feel like, am I like totally delusional or something? Because I do love my body, and I like my face too. I mean, I got some wrinkles, but I still like my face, and I love my body. I have baby skin. I love it. So why would I allow someone to make me get into a state of total confusion and think, oh, maybe I see everything through distorted lenses. I see everything through some kind of, it's like an avatar lens or something. But I don't, I had to ask Paul, it's like, do I really look terrible or old? And no, he said, no. He said, you look like 45. And he's being honest with me. He's really honest. So, and my body is not near as trailer as my face is. So, no, my body is really, really, really gorgeous. And I'm infinitely grateful for my plump baby skin body, that is very, very firm. It's true, I'm not making this up. So, but I get rejected. So because of this, I worked my way up to this point now where I cried for hours. For hours and hours and hours. And I bothered people on the internet about this. With my terrible, terrible drama, insecurity, and mental stuff, But it's not mental illness anymore. And I tell you why it's not mental illness anymore. I had mental illness real bad in the past. It's not mental illness anymore, and it's not bitterness, and it's not anything that is sort of like in a suspended state. My brain is no longer, or body, the mind is everywhere. It's not in a suspended state, okay? My body and my mind and my brain, every cell in my body is in a complete free flow of metabolism. Everything is in complete free flow and completely flowing. And completely like my blood is free to flow, okay, and my tears are free to flow, and I'm infinitely grateful for that. A lot of people don't even have that. I feel terrible for people who cannot even cry. I feel so sad for them. So I cry for them too. I cry for all of us. And if this is cringy, then don't watch my videos. I don't force anyone to watch my videos, okay? So, luckily, this is on the internet, where I don't have to feel like I'm imposing myself on anyone, okay? Because anyone can block me anytime on any of my accounts, and they don't have to talk to me, and they don't have to bother with me. And yes, my hair looks terrible. It is light green and growing back light blue. It's awful. But at least I can also laugh. I can laugh about the way I look. I do. I really do. I laugh about the way I look every day. I look in the mirror and I laugh real hard. Gosh. I need hair extensions real bad. My hair's My hair is so damaged from putting bleach into it to cover up the gray hair. Oh man, gray hair looks like light blue, but that's kind of cool actually. It's like alien spacecraft. Cool. So yeah, anyway, it's like laughing and crying and laughing and crying and laughing and crying and laughing and crying. But this is a flow, okay? That's a metabolistic flow. And as Jonathan Meese said, he's one of the top 100 most celebrated modern artists worldwide. Jonathan Meese in Berlin, Germany. My brother met him once. They were together on some kind of camping trip in Japan. Before he got famous, and then suddenly someone discovered Jonathan Meese at his art school in Hamburg, and he said, okay, this is dope, I'm taking you. And I am so jealous of that. I am so jealous of that, because I don't know how many art pieces of him, like over 1,000 or something, and I can't find a gallerist because they want to know, are you known? No. Well, then we can't accept your art because you're not known. It doesn't matter how bad someone's art is. If they're known, it's cool, It goes straight up in value, millions of dollars for one artwork. It could be a stick figure, so it doesn't matter. And I work on my artwork. I put layers on layers and layers and layers on it. I work on my artwork for months. I've worked on this one here for about a year and a half. That's how long it takes me. I put incredible love and dedication into my artwork, and it's not appreciated. And I don't know what's going to happen to my artwork posthum, as they call it. So it may just end up in someone's attic eventually. It might just, if Paul and I both die, then my art is gonna be, this house is gonna be seized by the government, and the art pieces, they're gonna be put out to the street to go to a landfill. And maybe someone can see it and say, oh, this is kind of cool, actually. And rescue it, but, whatever. It doesn't matter what happened. It doesn't matter. What matters is that I paint and that I enjoy that process. And if no one likes it, that's beyond my control, right? There's nothing I can do about it. If no one also likes my videos, if no one loves me, if no one appreciates my body, there's nothing I can do about it. Nothing I can do about it. But I can cry. I can cry all the way through the middle of it. And that's what I call the Ego Dissolution Funnel. And I'm going through, and I don't want to numb myself with alcohol or some drugs or pain medicine. Sometimes when it gets way too out of control, I take my PRS, and I take PRS every night before I go to bed. I listen to Jiddu Krishnamurti. These things are helping me. That's not addictive. PRS is a medicinal herb. That cannot be listed as one of those psychoactive things that actually create some kind of endorphin, dopamine, addiction cycle or something, which all the other substances are actually doing. This one doesn't. I tested this on myself. I discovered this in the garden in 2013, overdosed on it, almost died. But the results were spectacular that came out of that. So, and that's when I realized, this does not get you addicted. It slows down your heart rate if you don't take too much. If you take too much, it can stop the heart rate. And that almost happened. I actually passed out. Paul actually saved my life. He shook me up as hard as he could. He grabbed the bentonite clay from Dr. Scholl's, shoved it into my mouth, drank a glass of water with it, and that too saved my life. Then he got an ambulance, and they were all jealous of me for having such a wonderfully low heart rate of 50. I had to laugh, actually, inside of my head. I didn't want to laugh at that moment, because I was just my brain was on fire, really, but my heart rate was low, and I thought, yeah, this is only because of Pyrrhus, because of the overdose. I made a video about this on one of my other channels called My Experience with Oleander. Okay, was from 2013. I still had Kenny Redwood, my albino Great Dane at that time, and we made the video outside on the parking lot next to the Pyrrhus brush, and I showed the Pyrrhus brush, and people told me, that's when botanists said to me, that's not oleander, that's Pyrrhus japonica. So there I said it. Don't tell anyone Pyrrhus. I don't want Pyrrhus to be banned or to be eradicated, because that's what they're doing to the herb kratom in Brazil. They are eradicating entire ecosystems where this herb is growing in the wild, because the farmer industry is a mafia and they don't want competition. So they particularly don't want competition from medicinal herbs that are not even addictive, that are just medicinal herbs. They only give, they don't take. That exists on this planet. That you better believe it. So I'm infinitely grateful to the infinite cosmos for all of those medicinal, giving, loving plants that are out there. And there are many of them. Most of them have not been discovered. I discovered this on my own. Some people have died from that plant. I researched this on the internet. It's listed as poisonous. Under the same, I think the same families as oleander. It's very similar. They have very, very, very similar alkaloids in them, but not the same. So oleander is way stronger, of course. Just a little bit can kill someone. So this one here, the leaves are about this long, and I can eat a leaf, you can eat a leaf, and nothing happens. It just calms you down like valerian root. And it's also very much an antidepressant and a pain medicine. So it's absolutely fantastic. I always cut myself a bunch of them. I put them in my bathroom, the leaves only, and then before I go to bed, I take about 5 leaves. And it depends on how much my brain is on fire. Sometimes it's bad. I might have to take 10 leaves, and after the papa died, I took about 100 leaves. I did it twice, and nothing happened even. I guess my body developed a very high tolerance to it. When I had the overdose, when I ended up in the ICU, that's when I made a concoction in the kitchen. I had cut that. I didn't even know it, but I knew this was a plant I should stay away. I just instinctively knew from the lance-shaped leaves that look like oleander. I knew that I shouldn't take that, but I took it anyway, together with blueberry leaves and other things, and I made a concoction. It was some sort of more like a Russian roulette type of thing. Whatever happens, I had Kenny. I didn't want to leave Kenny, but I was in such the situation here is holding me so much back. Okay, this is such a cage that I'm living in here. So that's why it was like, it was an act of despair, like whatever happens, Russian roulette, So, and then I got really, really high on that, drinking that tea, that concoction, real strong tea. I got really high, and then it kicked in, and I drank like several cups of that, this real condensed tea. And then I talk about this in that video, about the vision that I had suddenly, the blue god for my artwork, the eye of the blue god, a rectangular shaped eye with that rectangular pupil in the middle. The way I paint my artworks. I don't have the eye in here right now because Kenny's head is already disappearing beyond that canvas. But the way I paint, if you look at my artworks also on Facebook, Nicola Dandelion, my artwork's there, and you can see the rectangular eye, completely rectangular, cubic. And this eye appeared as a hallucination in the middle of the living room, surrounded by a flickering sun. I'm not making this up, this is true. And the eye looked at me and said, "What are you doing? Why are you doing this? You need to you need to commit yourself. You need to make a commitment now to living with that what is. You need to make a commitment to this." And it is super difficult for me to make this commitment because I'm constantly at that very threshold of leaving this spacesuit behind. Oh God, I wish I could do it. Gosh, I wished I could do it. I wished I could just peacefully leave this spacesuit behind and be buried there next to the Papa Dog and Kenny and meet them again out in space. That would be amazing. But the blue god says, but this is the school. Now it's getting really interesting. Particularly now that I'm getting older. This is like so painful and challenging, and I feel so insecure. It's like, when a dog, when I have a dog, and the dog gets old, it doesn't matter how old the skin gets or wrinkly with tumors, and it does not matter to me, I have unconditional love for that living being. That's not the case with people. That's not the case with humans. They don't have that unconditional love. Particularly not to a stranger that they just met or talked to for a while. No. They will criticize. They will say, ew, yikes. One guy said yikes to me when I showed him my face. Yet he was constantly hitting on me. Constantly, non-stop. Some biker guy from New York. That was a couple of years ago. Then I showed him my photo and he says, yikes. But then he continued to hit on me. Real hard. Then his girlfriend stopped by my channel and she said, what the fuck? No way. She was so incredibly outraged. She must have seen my link on his computer or something. And I immediately blocked her. I don't want drama. No, thank you. So I'm very confused. People, please. I am very, very confused. I'm so confused about these very contradictory reactions of people towards me bullying, insults, the worst insults you can possibly imagine, the absolute worst, like someone cutting my head off, like insults that cut you, and then again, then coming back, the same person coming back and trying another approach or something, so it's very confusing. I'm very confused. And I'm very hurt and sad about all of this hate. Are they, what's the matter? Are they terrified of me? That I am an equal, that I do not bow down to men? Are they terrified about that? Are they terrified that I live for my own purposes? That I live for art and love and teaching compassion? That I'm intellectually strong? Is that scary? Is that so scary? You can't control me? Is that what it is? You want to control the women? You want the women being like this? I put a shadow on. Yeah, do anything you want. No, it ain't happening with me, okay? Ever. It will never happen. I live for my own purposes. I am my own person. I'm the Nietzsche soul. Okay, I have a Medusa inside of me that can get really, 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 really dangerous if I'm being threatened. I have all of this. I have infinite love in me. I have infinite softness and gentleness in me. Okay. Whoever is my friend, I will fight to the bone for you. I'm the most loyal friend in the world that you can absolutely imagine. But there are men on the internet that want me under them. Gary Inmentum is one of those. He's one of those people. It was 2008. I was talking to Nick, modern mystic from England, and Gary Inmentum. I was talking to these two philosopher people about the meaning of life and about the cosmos, the infinite cosmos, and the Big Bang, and the red button theory that Gary Inmentum came up with. He's an anti-natalist philosopher. He came up with the word ephelism, which is life spelled backwards. Yeah, he's against life completely. He's against, he said, would you press the red button and would you eliminate all life and at once without suffering, or would you, if it's very theoretical, because you press the red button at the White House, that implies a lot of suffering. So, but he just hypothetically erased the sufferings, that if you can press that red button and everything is just instantly gone, would you eliminate all life in an instant? Or would you just eliminate humans? So I said I'd eliminate humans and leave the other innocent beings still here, because we can't ask them if they are anti-natalists. Okay, and I'm pretty sure they are not. And anti-natal, I mean ephealists. They're not ephealists. Okay, so they're not even antinatalists. They can't even conceive this philosophically to that point. I don't know, maybe the whales could. The whales might be. I think the whales can, because I heard that whales have committed suicide in aquariums, and they thought, oh, this existence is not gonna work out. Very much like I feel in this existence here. My friend Sandy said it too. She said he's holding you back. Okay. And he means well, I know he means well. He's doing his very level best that he can. And I appreciate that, but the situation is holding me back, absolutely. I want to create therapy centers. We need to create therapy centers, and he is never going to put up with that. Never. He will never put up with this. He has absolute paranoia and terror of being sued, and that's why he won't get that bully pity, because he doesn't want to get sued, and everything is risky, everything is danger everywhere. Let's barricade ourselves into this existence. He said he wished he had not sold his gas mask in LA. Oh man, I don't even know what to say to that. That gas mask is it's gray, and it comes out to here, and you can almost not breathe through it. But he would wear this into a store. I know he would. That's who he is. And gloves and eye goggles that go like, oh man. I mean, how can we proceed if we live stuck in that kind of situation? If we barricade ourselves into a cage, so it doesn't work. So I'm so grateful for Sandy to be there. My angel, she's my angel. So I'm gonna sing this song for Sandy and Drew and everyone else who I had been talking to lately, also about my songs. This song is a very sad one from Alexandra Nefedov. She's my favorite artist, musician, songwriter, singer with the most amazing voice. She has a very deep voice, but very, very good singer. She can also sing in higher tones, but a very smoky, deep voice. Check her out, Alexandra Nefedov. Check out the song Sehnsucht, which means yearning. And I'm gonna sing this song now. It is in German. So I copied it and I put it into my word processor. Yes, I know my hair looks bad. So I gotta tune myself in. I don't know which key to start with. Sehnsucht heißt ein altes Lied der Tiger, das schon damals meine Mutter sang. Sehnsucht lag im Spiel der Balalaika, wenn sie abends vor dem Haus erklang. Und heut bleiben davon nur noch kurze Träume, die in langen Nächten oft vor mir entstehen. Und 1000 Ängste, dass ich es versäume, die geliebte Tiger noch einmal zu sehen. Sehnsucht sind die vielen heißen Tränen und die Hoffnung, die im Herzen schwingt. Sehnsucht liegt noch immer in den Tönen, abends, wenn das alte Lied erklingt. die endlosen Steppen und die tiefen Wälder, die wie graue Schatten oft vor mir erstehen, neblige Flüsse, taubedeckte Felder, alles möchte ich einmal wiedersehen. Sehnsucht heißt ein altes Lied der Taiga, das schon damals meine Mutter sang. Sehnsucht lag im Spiel der Balalaika, wenn sie abends vor dem Haus erklang. Peace and love for all animals, for all innocent beings. Animals are all innocent.